Good evening, class. We've had a few questions about Project 1. It is due Wednesday night at midnight, so I wanted to make sure, well, at 11:59 p.m. to be exact. So wanted to see if I could walk through some of these steps and clear up some of the questions for the class in general as you're working through this for the last couple days. If you finished and turned it in, great. You can use this to double check your work. If not, I'll walk through the steps with you. The first screen is your brainstorming list, and so here you're going to put any possible idea you have for a business, anything that you might want to explore the feasibility of, or any specific industry you want to focus on. You can pull a number of ideas from there. So say I would put an online popcorn business as one of my ideas, and the representative keyword would then be popcorn, and you'll see the little red arrows will give you explanations. So a representative keyword would choose a search keyword that you feel would be most representative. So nice how it uses the name and the definition there. The LTD, the location here, include an asterisk if you limited the targeting to less than the United States, and so that's going to be your location there. That helps you take into account these numbers over here, your competitor competition, and your monthly searches. So I'm not going to limit mine. I'm going to sell popcorn to the entire United States. I haven't run the official numbers. We'll say there's 10,000 searches a month. I'm sure it's much higher than that. But there's high competition. And it's pretty easy to start. Say my next idea is a t-shirt business, right? So I will put t-shirt as a representative keyword, and we'll say there are 5,000 searches. And you'll notice it's starting to rank and give weight over here to these ideas. I'm going to say there's low competition, which is false. There's actually high competition. Right, but that's going to give that a much more appealing look. And so you're going to go down and it's going to give you a rank, and then you can pull your top 5 choices into here, whatever those may be. Excuse me. Alright, so there, once you fill out all 20, it'll pull out your top 5. You can put your top 5 here. And then we'll jump over to inputs. Inputs is going to be for usually the most time-consuming page. And so it's automatically going to populate my top 5 business ideas here. So you can see popcorn and t-shirt business. If I had filled in the other 3, you'd see them down here in the blue. That's the beauty of this spreadsheet, is you should only have to fill out the spots in the yellow one time. And then it's going to take that and populate it throughout the spreadsheet. So any cell with yellow you can fill out one time. And then it will populate. So hopefully that leads to some efficiencies in this. If you're going through the spreadsheet for the first time, only fill out the cells that are in yellow. No need to fill out anything in blue, green, or any other color. So to do this section, you're going to need to use the keyword tool planner in AdWords, and you're going to pull the clicks, impressions, average position, cost from, and that'll give you the click-through rate and the average cost per click. But these 4 pieces of information you're going to pull from the keyword tool planner. So if I go back to the instructions for Project 1, you can read through the instructions here. Right? This is walking you through what I'm walking you through, and you click on this instructions for using keyword planner to complete the input sheet. That will pull up this page, and it will walk you through how to do this, and gives you a screenshot here of how you pull up the keyword. And then from that you can pull clicks, impressions, average position, cost, etc. So again, that's in the the Project 1 instructions. And that's the link right there, instructions for using Keyword Planner to complete the input sheet. So I'm going to use my top 3 words, movies, popcorn, right, however I want to do that. We'll say there's 5,000 clicks, 100,000 impressions. Average position is 8. The cost is going to be 0.13. And I can do the same for movies, which I'm sure is a huge amount. We'll put average position as 2 there. And that one's going to be a little bit more expensive. So you would do that for all of these. Take your top 3 keywords for each of your business ideas and fill them in. From there, your demand and your competition will populate. So from this, your estimated clicks per day, that's going to pull these numbers right here. Your estimated clicks per day is going to pull from these averages down here. Totals and averages. Alright, so at times this cell right here will default to the number 1. I've seen this on as a couple students have worked through there, it's set like this. So it just says 1. You'll notice these are linked to B23 on the inputs page, B28 on the inputs page. So follow that link if that happens to you. Go ahead and replace that. Just put equals. Click over onto the inputs page, go to your top business idea, right, your number 1, the popcorn right here, and click on this first totals and averages. And then hit enter. And that'll bring it into line with the rest of these. So you've got here inputs cell B18, input cell B23, input cell B28, and so on and so forth. That's what that's pulling from, is that average right here, those average clicks. So there you can compare all the clicks per day, which is going to give you your estimated demand of all your business ideas, so you can see which one has the top clicks per day, your highest demand. And so then you can explain what that means, that the business with the highest clicks per day is going to be the most in-demand product. And then you can pull your competition, your expected click-through rate. And so you could show, if you have, right, you can see, read the description here, the test. 10 being the best competitive environment, and 1 is the worst competitive environment. And so if you have that lower click-through rate, it's a better competitive environment. You're not dealing with quite the competition that you would otherwise. And that's what you can use in your explanation here. So again, the ideal is a high demand, low competition market. That's not always possible, but that is the ideal. Then you're going to go through your supplier pages. And to start any business, you need some form of supply. If you're going to start a blog, somebody's going to supply the content. Maybe that's you from your experience, or you'll get content from elsewhere on the internet. If you're going to make a product, you've got to get inputs, and you've got to get supplies to create that product. So take a couple of supplies, estimate the obtainable start date, and this is a likelihood right here. 10 is most likely that you'll be able to obtain those supplies by the start date, and 1 is the least likely that you'll be able to obtain those supplies. So for popcorn, I'm going to need the kernels, and I'm going to need a popcorn machine. I think the kernels I can get, those are very easy. The machine, that might be hard to come by, so maybe it's a little less likely. Any further issues or requirements, and then that'll give you a score over here. Right, 10 is your best, 1 is the worst. No further explanation needed, but as you're forming a business, you've got to consider the supplies as inputs. Then the startup costs. How much is it going to cost you? How much do those supplies end up costing you to get things started? So something like a t-shirt business is probably going to be a little bit more expensive. I've got to buy the t-shirts. I've got to buy some kind of machinery to imprint on the t-shirts, etc. So maybe my t-shirt business is a $500 startup. And my popcorn business is less. I got to buy the machine and some kernels and some shipping supplies, so I can do that for $50. So again, 10 is the best, and then it'll drop down subsequently to show you the more costly ideas will get lower scores there. all of these will play into this last recommendation slide. And so you can estimate the time you'll spend, the weekly hours. That'll give you a score. You put your reasoning down here. And then your profit per unit. So for each shipment of popcorn, how much am I going to earn? Or on each t-shirt, how much am I going to earn? You do that by taking the amount you'll sell it by minus how much it costs to create the product. So simple gross profit per unit goes in here. These are automatically populated again from other parts in the spreadsheet. Your conversion rate. What is the percentage of people that visit your website that will purchase something? The default is 2%, but if you're banking on an extremely high volume to your website, you may not get 2% of those people. If you're focused on a niche market and you're only going to get a few customers, but you think you can sell them, maybe you feel like your conversion rate is going to be a little higher. But 2% is a good place to estimate to begin. From there, you're going to build it all into your recommendations page. And so you see there's a weight on each of the sections that you've filled out: the demand, competition, suppliers, startup costs, time requirement, and profit potential. And then you can weight those. If you don't pay a lot of attention to demand and competition because you have a product that you love and you're going to do it no matter what, maybe demand and competition don't matter so much to you. Suppliers, maybe that's really important, because if you can get this supply, then I'm more likely to do this product, or if I can more easily obtain this supply, I'm more likely to do that product. Or the startup cost may be important, and you're saying, look, I don't have a lot of money to start this business, so I'm going to put a lot of weight on startup costs. Or I have a lot of money, I can do different businesses, so startup costs aren't that important to me. That's the type of mental exercise you'll go through. If profit potential is really important to you and you say, I don't care what the business is, I want it to earn a lot of profit, you're going to put more weight on that. So make sure these add up to 100%. If I add to my profit potential, and I think I'm going to put 25% on that, I've got to drop something else by 10% or two sections by 5%, so I keep this weighted total at 100%. So I'm going to take away 5 from here and 5 from here, so this goes back to 100%. So you'll go through that, and from there it will spit you out a ranking of what could be your top business idea. This is an important point. That does not mean that you have to choose that idea. If you shirk your number 1 ranking and say, you know what, forget about it, I want to do my number 2 or number 3 choice, just tell me why. There's plenty of reasons why you might do that. But this really just shows me you've gone through the mental exercise, and it's okay to say, you know what, I still don't want to do my number 1 rank. I want to do something else. So you can also explain why you changed the weighting on the criteria. So that's the spreadsheet. If there's more questions, please let me know. Again, do the inputs in yellow, and from there it will walk you through the rest of it. The inputs page is usually the most time consuming. The brainstorm can take a while. If you're having trouble coming up with business ideas, please reach out. I'm happy to chat about those. This is a great page to fill out. So the inputs can take some time. Leave yourself some time to go into Google AdWords and to pull this information individually. Once you get the first one done, you get into a rhythm and you kind of figure out where they go from there. I know a couple of you have been on AdWords and have had a hard time pulling down exact numbers. If it's giving you a range for clicks or impressions, go ahead and take that middle number between the two, and that'll work for this page so that it can still spit you out concrete data. Any other questions, please reach out. Thanks, everybody.